So hello and welcome to the channel and welcome to Frankie's Fixes, a weekly show on YouTube where I will be solving your submissions and fixing your design dilemmas. All you've got to do is fill in the form in the description. I'll need a few photos and a video of the space or room that you are struggling with and why you're struggling with it, and then I will endeavour to fix your design dilemma. I will come up with a lovely mood board, there'll be a great reveal as well as a shopping list so you can recreate the design at home. I will also be doing some fashion fixes, so if you're struggling with what to wear this season or don't know what to get rid of or what to look out for, then I shall be fixing the fashion fixes as well. And this week we're starting with James's bedroom, which just isn't working for him, so I'm gonna fix his design dilemma.
Hi, my name's James. I'm really stuck with our main bedroom. It's where we spend most of our time, and I don't feel relaxed in it because it's not finished and I really want to finish it. But after experiencing tens of thousands lost to a dodgy builder, we are really tight on money and I can't afford the material that I need, the skills that I need. So I need to find a way to resolve this, or even if it's like a temporary fix, to give us something that we can then save up for and build towards. Maybe that's also another way to look at it. Rather than a fix, it's a mini fix.
So James has sent his room in and he's colour drenched it in a green, which is really lovely, so we don't need to change the paint colour. And he's also got these Ikea hack cupboards, and I think he's worried that the green of the cupboards, because they weren't finished by the builder, are not going to match the green of the walls. But I have an idea to sort of help with that, so he doesn't have to repaint the whole room. He also really likes William Morris, and he wants a really big William Morris headboard. But headboards are really expensive, which he has acknowledged. So I'm going to come up with a solution that is a sort of in between a temporary fix and a fixed fix. So a lot of it can be forever, and until he can afford maybe a headboard, I'm going to come up with a different option for that. He's got a couple of little floating shelves that he wants to put either side the bed. He has got wall lights, but I don't think those wall lights are working, so I think I'm going to change those. And he's got a lovely view, but the window dressing is a bit bland. I think what the room needs is some softness. He's kind of got the right idea, it just needs a kind of cohesive way of bringing it all together. Furniture-wise, he seems okay. He's got a nice chest of drawers, which he doesn't like the handles, and I don't really like the handles either. So we'll change the handles, and he's got the bed. And I think he seems happy with the bed. It was just the bed head he wanted to change. And then I'm just going to add some softness, some elements of William Morris without spending a fortune, and do something, a sort of a feature behind the bed. So it feels like there's a big, grand, expensive bed head. But there isn't. So I've been working on James's mood board, and what I've done is I've basically started with the palette of the green, and I've softened it with kind of complementary muted tones so that it's not too far away from what he sort of originally is aiming for. But instead of doing an expensive headboard in William Morris, I have just used soft linen, and I've put in the mood board is soft linen curtains. And you can kind of create a canopy effect. So if you have your bed, and then his current bed has a bit of a headboard, which I've kept, which is like a sort of neutral linen colour. And then behind that, I'm proposing putting a simple curtain pole above the bed, up to the ceiling where the ceiling and the wall crease is, and then hanging these linen Ikea curtains. And then if you put another curtain pole sort of midway down the bed on the ceiling, you then hang another set of curtains, so it drapes like that, and then it drapes down behind the bed. And depending on the length of the curtains you choose, you might have to stitch them along so that they join, or you can fold them behind the pole. So you go like that and fold behind the pole, and then you have the other curtains hanging down like that. And this will create a sort of dramatic headboard effect, but very inexpensively compared to a headboard. Then he's got his wall lights, I like the idea of the wall lights. I think that they're quite heavy and dark in the scheme, they're sort of like a black modern kind of finish. So I put some little antique brass wall lights and some William Morris shades, which aren't very expensive. So he's got a touch of the William Morris. And then on the window, he's got blinds, and it's quite a modern rectangular window. So it's quite hard just with the blinds. So emulating the softness of the canopy curtains behind the bed, I've used the same curtains, but in a different shade to have, and they've gone for the green ones there and the beige ones behind the bed, so that the whole room kind of becomes this lovely, soft, ethereal cocoon, which would be really relaxing and feel luxurious and sort of calming without costing too much money. So then those curtains, and because these curtains are linen, so they're diaphanous, but because he's got the blinds already, it doesn't matter that they're blackout. So then I'm putting the curtains along the window, and then the chest of drawers we're keeping, the green chest of drawers. I quite like the fact it's a different tone. It's a little bit clashy, but that sometimes works when you've got all the other greens coming in as well. And I've chosen some little brass antique little doorknobs, which are like £2.20, and they can just be unscrewed and changed, and that's such an easy fix for updating fitted cupboards, you know, chest of drawers, kitchen cupboards, whatever. That's a really good way of making them be uplifted. And then what I found, and it's quite amazing, there's a lot of William Morris on the high street and the supermarkets at the moment. And so there's some in Zara, and I've got a couple of lovely William Morris cushions from Zara Home, and then I've also got one from Habitat. And we're just going to have a couple of the different prints. One of them looks very similar to the sample of William Morris he had on his bed head. And then I've got a couple of sort of rusty, just to add a bit of pink in, rusty linen cushions as well. So it's not all prints, so it kind of balances it out. You don't want it too many sort of styles going on. And then I've got a lovely William Morris throw, which is also from Zara Home, and that's just going to go draped over the end of the bed. And then to reflect the light, and it's such an easy thing to do and make the room look bigger, I've got a sort of mango wood bubble mirror, which is from Dunelm, and that's going to go above the chest of drawers. So it will reflect the canopy effect, so that will seem even more dramatic because it's all reflected. And also the windows there sort of reflect the light, and it'll just make the space feel really sort of light and airy and soft. And then with the cupboards, he was worried that the cupboard doors, because they were painted at different times because the builder left, I think, and there was some issue around that they weren't going to match the walls. Well, it won't matter so much because half the walls are now sort of covered behind the bed with the drapery, and it's going to be a lovely, serene, tranquil, green, sort of neutral toned bedroom. So I'm now going to show James the reveal of his room with this brilliant visual that the team have come up with, which is an artificial intelligence sort of 3D filmic version of what the room will look like, following from what I put in the mood board and in the product list. And it's a really lovely way for James to visualize how the design would look, so he can implement everything at home and see what his design dilemma fix would look like.
So, just received Frankie's fix, and yeah, it's brilliant. A great way to soften the space and create that canopy idea over the bed, draping down behind the bed, soften all that wall, and then softening the window with some more curtains is brilliant, and absolutely definitely changing those. I can't stand them. So, well done, Frankie. Spin in the room with joy.
And if you would like me to fix your design dilemma, then don't forget to fill in the form in the description below, and I will endeavour to fix your design dilemma. And also, don't forget to subscribe here or here or here.